just need to start putting stuff on the agenda just to get people here. Start putting stuff on the agenda just to get people here.
Do we need to close the door that someone else coming in and can't see? I guess that's it. Do you want to close it?
Brother David, would you give our afternoon prayer for us, please?
Gracious Lord, in heat and in cold, we remember that. Rain and even drought. We know that you're still good. You love us. And there are ways for us to reflect our gratitude for your goodness through our own goodness as we treat each other with respect and encouragement and patience. Guide us as a council, as a community, as individuals, in all that we think and say and do, according to your will. We ask in your most holy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I call this meeting to order. Ms. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Mayor Johnson?
Here.
City Attorney Peoples?
Here.
City Treasurer Martin?
Here.
Councilor Cat? Councilor Pulliam?
Here.
Councilor Taylor? Here. Councilor Coleman?
Here.
Councilor McClendon? Councilor Mundy?
Here.
Councilor Holt? Here. Councilor Tyrone? Councilor Carter? Councilor Robinson?
Present.
6 present.
Quorum present, we will proceed. Only person I heard from was Alderman McClendon and Alderman Kett, I believe. They told me he wouldn't be here. We have no bid openings today. You have a copy of the minutes, and since that's basically one of the only items on the agenda, if you've studied those carefully, could I have a motion and a second to approve them?
So moved.
All in favor by aye? Aye. Opposed? They are approved. We had no items of old business brought forward. Under new business, we have the 2011 State of the City. Would you pass those down? 1, 2, 3, 4. The State of the City message, did you pass those?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everybody have a copy?
Lorraine's keeping hers. She don't want nobody else to see it.
You gonna keep them
I'm
all?
sorry, I just wanted to make sure I get all of the details
Oh, okay.
correct.
This is a requirement of state legislative audit that the State of the City message be presented to the City Council and to the public. 2011 was another difficult year. Our sales tax decrease of 1.5% was offset by the increased contributions from Southland Racing and Gaming. After accruing revenues as required by state auditors, we finished in the black again. This is mainly due to our employees watching very closely how they spend your money. We were able to buy police cars without incurring any debt because of money that was found by our narcotics officers. We were able to buy a new fire truck without incurring any debt because of our savings in our capital purchases by taking care of our older, outdated trucks and saving some of our turnback money to cover this purchase. We all endured a horrific storm in May. It cost the city over $1 million in damages. We received over $488,000 from our insurance coverage and over $443,000 from FEMA. Because of hard work done by Paul Luker and his department, we received an energy grant that helped with some remodeling of our city hall, our civic auditorium, and our municipal court building. Like most grants, it didn't cover everything, but we were able to cover our matching funds and an additional expenses without incurring any debt. We do see signs of our sales tax collection trying to get back into a growth mode instead of decreasing amounts we've had to endure the last 3+ years. Budgets for the general fund, the street, the sanitation, the utility, the library, the airport, the riverport departments, along with A&P, including the civic auditorium, were in excess of $58 million. This does not include the budgets for fire and police pensions that we administer, along with the Main Street Industrial Park, Emergency 911, and Metropolitan Planning Organization programs. Then we have additional programs such as Shelter Plus, CARE, home and community development programs that add to the value of our city. One of the major changes for our employees was the changing of insurance carriers and going to a fully funded plan from a self-insured one. The rising medical costs continue to plague all of us. In fact, we are beating our health insurance coverage again this year. With 400 employees and over 100 retirees, the raising cost of state-funded retirement programs, raising medical costs, raising operating costs such as fuel, and the inability to give our employees a raise for the fourth consecutive year, this will make another challenging year. But the positive aspect of this is that no employee was terminated, nor did any associate suffer from a salary reduction. The Planning and Development Department issued 10 permits for new construction of commercial and industrial developments, along with 7 permits for additions to existing commercial buildings. Additionally, the department issued another 56 permits to remodel existing commercial buildings. Total estimated cost of commercial and industrial projects for the year was $10,631,817. Single-family houses were at a low of 4. However, 84 permits were issued to remodel existing homes. The city demolished 19 substandard and vacant structures. The Community Development Department oversaw the rehabilitation of 59 single-family homes, utilizing volunteer labor of World Changers and Ozark Mission Groups. These homes are owner-occupied by elderly, low-income, and/or handicapped individuals. The city is continuing its relationship with Memphis Area Transit Authority to provide bus service in West Memphis with connections to Memphis. Ridership continues to increase and averages more than 20,000 riders a month, with a grand total of more than 2 million riders since the service began in 1999. The second phase of the Main Streets Facade Program got underway. This program uses U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Community Development Block Grant funding to repair and update facades of buildings in the Main Street District. These upgrades help make the area more attractive, which helps in the recruitment of new businesses to the district. The city received a $545,000 grant from the Arkansas Department of Energy to upgrade lighting and heat, vent, and air conditioning equipment for City Hall, the Civic Center, and the Municipal Court Building. These grant funds paid for needed upgrades, increased efficiency through saving future tax dollars without impacting the general fund. The Gateway Project, an effort to beautify major entryways into West Memphis and along the interstates with lighting and landscape, received a $310,000 in grant funding from the Arkansas Highway and Transportation Department. This phase of the project, due to be completed by the end of the year, will focus on the area around the new Vista Center at 7th Street and Interstate 4055, and will primarily consist of heavy tree plantings at the 7th Street interchange and additional LED lighting along the interstate. The grant match and maintenance of the landscaping are being funded by the advertising and promotion. Under economic development, Awesome Products continued their expansion efforts with the openings of the new 450,000 square foot facility on 7th Street and their acquisition of a $200,000 square foot facility on North 7th. The expansion also included the hiring of over 75 new employees. The citizens passed an ED tax in November that allows the city to offer incentives to prospective industries. It was instrumental in the following month in West Memphis becoming the #1 site for a $70 million facility. The Strip Shopping Center, one of the few new retail projects completed in the Mid-South in 2011, opened with over a 90% occupancy. Virtually all the businesses were new to West Memphis. West Memphis did receive a first-class franchise when Papa John Pizza opened. I can only attempt to express my appreciation and admiration for our associates who continue to perform in a positive manner despite difficult circumstances. We have not curtailed any services despite our rising costs, particularly in fuel and repairs. We have no short-term debt as we have paid for all the assets purchased, autos and fire trucks. In addition, in 2011, we retired previous debt for 10 police cars and a fire truck. We have 3 small bond issues outstanding, one for the port, one for the parks, and one for the airport. We have one additional issue from the utility in which funds have not been dispersed. Even in difficult times, your city is in solid financial condition. Our most significant need is to accumulate additional operating capital in order that we may be able to operate in a professional, business-like manner. That concludes the report as required by law. It makes interesting reading. There have been extremely difficult years, and yet our city has remained in solid financial condition And I'll reemphasize, we do need to build our reserves up and our operating capital to a more substantial amount, and that's the biggest need we have. We have basically no debt. The cars are paid for, the fire trucks are paid for, all the debts are paid off, the 3 small bond issues, and none of those are guaranteed by assets, nor millage, nor solid fixtures. They're all guaranteed by revenue only. They're revenue-only bonds. So nothing the city has is pledged to any debt, and there is no short-term debt. And I think we're all proud of that. The council, the administration, the employees have all worked hard to contribute to this. Have no permission request to have 2 sets of committee reports. I'll start with the airport.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mayor Johnson. The airport met this morning. City Treasurer Frank Martin briefed the airport commissioners on the 2011 audit. He also informed them that there will be an unbudgeted increase in health insurance premiums beginning July 1st. Stacy Mars, engineer, reported that repairs to 3 expansion joints on Taxiway A should be completed next month. City Attorney David Peoples prepared a draft ground lease. A meeting was set for July 30th to review the lease by a subcommittee appointed by Chairman Pike. Engineer Stacy Myers and Linda Avery met with the cell tower representatives to review potential sites for a 150-feet tower. Several sites were identified that would provide the service needed without impacting airport operations. The City Planning and Development Department has been briefed on all conversations with the cell tower companies. And that's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you. Parks?
I've asked the park director to come up and give a report.
Good afternoon, council members and all city employees or whatnot. I just want to give you a brief synopsis of some of the highlights of the Park Commission meeting that was held last Tuesday. Start with the grant project at Grimsley and Horton Park. I'd like to report that's 99% complete. We had one change order that the mayor has already signed off on, and what it pertains to is that instead of sodding both parks, we're going to add additional pads and park benches to those parks, which was a smart thing to do because in this weather, without any irrigation, the sod probably would have been dead by now that we had planted out there. And just talking with Frank Martin, I understand that we have received our first reimbursement from the state, and I'd like to give a special thanks to the Treasurer's Department and the Public Works Department because it's a lot of time and paperwork involved in when getting those reimbursement requests, because if you don't know if something you do don't right, the state will kick it out and you have to start all over. So also just to piggyback along that, I had Renita gather bids, and she only got 2 back to go ahead and repaint the pavilions at both those parks, because we're changing the landscaping, furniture and assets. We've changed the color of it, and it's blue, and now one of those pavilions is green and the other one is red. So the low bid was $1,600 to do both of them. And we're going to go ahead and try to go with that and try to also submit it on as a grant, even though it wasn't a part of the original grant package. Talking with her, I think we may could submit it in and get some reimbursement from that as well. Some other things we discussed at the meeting was just some of the spending on maintenance items that we had for the month of May. Out at Tilden Rogers at the Marion Road softball complex, we had to spend about $3,138 on bathroom repairs just to get those operational. We spent about $1,037 on fire ant treatment out there. We spent $1,185 on truck repairs, $1,100 on tractor repairs, $714 on scoreboard repairs, $1,500 on janitorial supplies, and about $750 on repairs on the lakes of Richland. So, and also just had Renita ordered. We had to spend about $500 ordering two basketball goal assemblies for the 10th Street Mini Park. So that comes up to about $10,000 that we spent just in a month on repair and maintenance items, due to the park. And that's excluding, fuel and utilities and et cetera. The other thing that happened at the Park Commission meeting, I had our tournament organizer come and give a report because it was a few negative things in the paper about, the way we were doing tournaments and the things that were going on out there. And what he did, he came and also brought some employees that, worked for him, because it was said that, most of the employees and the people were from Mississippi that were working there, which is not true. So he had about 3 of the umpires that work, which are from here in Crittenden County. I think 2 from West Memphis and 1 from Marion. And also they didn't come, but he had teenagers, and he listed those that work here from the county that work in the concession stand. And he just brought a little report and synopsis of what he's done just this year with the city. And what it is, he estimated that he has brought 200 teams through the ballpark, and some of them are the same team, but they've came on different occasions. And at an average of 12 members per team, that's about 200 or 2,400 players that's been through the ballpark. And the number he estimates is that each player's family will spend roughly $150 in the city while here, and that's on fuel, lodging, eating, and whatnot. And if you extrapolate those numbers, that comes up to about $360,000 as influx into the local economy. And if you do some tax configuring, that could mean anywhere from $25,000 to $35,000 additional tax revenue, that sales tax revenue that comes from the city. And these teams are majority from Tennessee, Mississippi, and Missouri, and as even far as Oklahoma and Illinois. And why I brought him here, because of the negativity. I think the negativity comes from, I don't want to place a finger on it, but people that are in this area who are not doing the same things that we're doing, who used to do the same things. And now that we've kind of got I wouldn't say a monopoly, but what it is with the economy and the way it's rising, people don't want to go to, say, the South Havens or to the Bartletts and pay exorbitant amount of fees to play in those tournaments, where we can offer them something that's more cost effective. And I think we've done a good job on it. And one request that he has is he wants to go ahead and be put under a 3-year contract to do these things. And what we explained to him is that we'd have a contract drawn up. Of course, David would have to review it, and then we would go from there. And Philip even had a question, David, of, when we do something like that, do we have to bid it out? And I told him, that'd be something that you would have to let us know and kind of, inform us on. But I think he's done a good job of what he's doing. And like I said, I think the negativity becomes, I don't want to, like I said, pinpoint it, but I think it comes from, like I said, a little bit of jealousy from surrounding areas who are not doing the same things that we're doing and not bringing the people here that we're bringing. So is it you? Is there any questions?
The only thing I can say is I knew it would, actually, whenever this all started, we needed a person with professional wisdom, someone who understood the tournament structure. And I feel like this guy is doing a good job with it, and I think we're just, actually, as he said the other day, it's going to get into a snowball effect, and there'll be a lot more tournaments, a lot more teams. And also, you have some coming up in the fall anyway, don't you?
Yeah, right now we're kind of somewhat done with the spring and the summer session, but we do have a fall session coming up. We want to do kind of a fall league, and which is, that's iffy, because a lot of times kids are into other sports like soccer and football, so don't know if all those will make. But it's just one of those things where before he came, we didn't do but I think 2 tournaments, and this year we've had 6, maybe 7, I do believe. And so it's just like I said, I think it's one of those things where people don't like to see stuff getting done. But the other thing about it is, I don't know if you understand this baseball, the way these baseball tournaments work, people follow the people. It's not that the city itself, if we put on a tournament, they'll come, they follow the people that put on these tournaments. And, he has a following that follows him. Like I said, the majority of his following is from Tennessee and Mississippi and, like I said, Missouri. Very rarely do we get, teams from this local area that play, and we may get 2 or 3 teams that play, in this tournament that's from the local, in our tournament that's from the local area. Because, I don't want to put a finger on it. I know if you read the article in the paper here, Marion, they attempted to put on 10 tournaments, but couldn't put on but 2 because of just, no local support from, from around here.
So the person that's putting these on, he's a pretty good promoter, what you're saying?
Yeah, he's a pretty good promoter. He does it for a living. That's what he does. And like I said, unless you're in there, because like I said, people come because of him. It's not so much they come from West Memphis, or come to a specific area. They come because he's putting it on.
Any other questions of Lorenzo?
Yes, I have a question for Lorenzo. Lorenzo, at Wonder City, the field, the baseball field, the diamond itself, it needs a lot of work. And we got kids over there playing that's sponsored by the Redbirds and some others. And what is that we can do?
Well, one thing about it is we have done work. We paid about, I think, $1,500 to put the roofs on the dugout, but the problem is we have no way of getting stuff from Tilden Rogers over to that park. I mean, we have no way of transporting dirt. We have no way of getting our tractors, you know.
Do we need to buy some dirt? I can get somebody to buy the buy a load. We can buy a load of dirt.
Don't want to insult you, but see, that's the difference. You just can't put regular dirt out there. It's actually clay what goes on the baseball field.
Well, whatever we need.
Well, I mean,
I know you've seen it, and it's a grass infield all the way around.
Yeah.
It looks bad. No mound, you know. And our kids deserve.
Well, we actually had a mound out there, a portable pitcher mound that got kind of torn up and ripped apart. That cost about $1,500. That's why we didn't, you know, after that got tore up, we didn't put another mound out there.
Oh, I mean, if it's built up in dirt, they can't.
Well, you can't actually build a dirt mound because they play multiple distances on there. If you put a dirt mound out there, they won't be able to play softball out there.
Well, we need something done. I'm trying to figure out what can we do.
Well, like you said, a load of infield clay roughly costs about $800, and to get that field to do the whole infield with infield clay, you're probably talking about, you know, 6 to 8 loads of dirt, infield clay that needs to be put over there.
Okay.
And like I said, if you get it delivered, because like I said, we don't have a dump truck in the park department ourselves to transport infield clay from Tilden Rogers out there, so we have to get it ordered over there. Like I said, you put the price tag on it, about 800 times 6. That gives you your number you're looking at.
So we just.
And I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the parks don't have a dump truck. Okay. I guess my question probably would be to the city attorney then, or the mayor. Would there be a problem, legal problem, as far as using a city truck to get dirt over to that particular web at Wonder?
I don't think the transportation would be the problem. Lorenzo's addressing the cost of the special clay. As far as a truck, we've got a truck. We can get a truck available.
Okay.
Either through the street department, utility department, the street department and utility department both have a dump truck.
Okay, so what we're gonna have to look at now then is why we're doing these grants.
Let me make a suggestion. Lorenzo, would you kind of put together a thumbnail sketch of what it'll take and get it to either Alderman Holt and let him bring it back?
Right.
Just what it'd take to put it up in shape.
Yeah, because the other thing about it is the reason the grass infield, because we also helped them convert it to a football field in the fall where they play football on. And so that's, you know, part of why the infield is all grass, because we did want to grow some grass over there for that. But, you know, when you get in that, you're going to have some change over cost in that as well.
Kind of outline all of that in writing and get it to me or to Alderman Holt one. And we'll bring it back to the council.
Okay, no problem.
And if they can find some money, we'll do it.
Okay. Hey, we definitely do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That concluded committee reports. Cindy, you want to introduce some of this good-looking group, or who they are, or
Yes, sir.
that's visiting with us today?
We had the privilege and honor of meeting with the Crittenden County Adult Leadership Group this morning. And Frank Martin, our city treasurer and finance director, met with them and talked to them about the city finances and how that works. And our city attorney talked to them about the legal aspects of what goes on and how busy we are and the new court system. And then I kind of wrapped it up and taught them about the council meetings and how they run and how they need to run for office. So we really enjoyed having them. Appreciate them being here.
Good to have you here. Appreciate you visiting with us at the council meeting. We might show you how it is to be done and how it is not to be done sometime.
And congratulations, I was a leadership member, Class 2, and we are still number 1.
Ask her how many years ago that was.
Oh, sure, that was 13, 14 years ago. And I became a city official, introverted, but not now. Not
Do you have a
introverted
spokesman that
anymore.
would like to have anything to say? spokesperson? Eddie, don't look around. Well, it's good to have you with us here today, all of you. The other announcement I have is business after hours tonight is South on Racing and Gaming at 5 o'clock, and I invite everyone to try to attend. I'm quite sure it'll be well done with South. That concludes the business items on the agenda.